Good morning, gang. Friday. Yay. Okay. And we get through it. So I think you all know I am pretty much pro-police. Okay. No doubt if you've watched any of my videos, you're going to know that I'm absolutely a back the blue guy. I think this defund the police movement is about the stupidest thing that, the latest stupidest thing that Congress has come up with, okay, beside the point. But you also know that I love to point out hypocrisy on this channel. And find it really interesting that you've got Congress, the squad, Pelosi, half the Democrat, not half, most all the Democrats saying, defund the police, we can't have the police. Yet at the same time, they are expanding the Capitol Police. Now, probably a whole bunch of you have seen that the Capitol Police, capital C-A-P-I-T-O-L, okay, are charged with protecting both houses of Congress, the congressional grounds, any visitors, whatever it is. That's their jurisdiction, okay? Now, with that also comes their jurisdiction of the entire United States, with a caveat, okay? Their mission is still to protect members of Congress. So I find it very weird that the Capitol Police have recently added 2 field offices, one in San Francisco and one in Tampa, Florida. Now, in case you don't know, neither San Francisco nor Tampa are the capitals of their respective states, okay? So why would you be sending a police force to a city, even though populated city, don't get me wrong, that isn't where politics are usually held, okay? Now, a little bit of background on the Capitol Police, okay? The Capitol Police have been around since the 1800s. They're nothing new, all right? And like I said, what their jurisdiction is basically the entire United States, provided it's according to mission, okay? The Capitol Police can't drive down the, pull you over for speeding, going down I-40 somewhere. That doesn't matter, okay? It's not, they don't have jurisdiction to do that. But who they report to is very interesting, okay? Now, I know there's a lot of talk out there that this whole expanding to Tampa and San Francisco happened in response to January 6th. There's no truth to that whatsoever. This has been talked about beforehand, okay? So who they report to is very interesting. And, after going through the respective sergeants of arms in both the House and the Senate, ultimately they report to the House Speaker and the Senate Majority Leader, which currently are our favorite friends, Pelosi and Schumer, all right? Now, that just means now. It doesn't mean in 18 months or whatever it is when the next election happens, if the houses, both houses of Congress flip, that it's not, I don't know, Mitch McConnell and Jim Jordan, who knows, okay? Who knows who would be the Speaker of the House or the Senate Majority Leader. But this is irregardless of which party is in power, okay? The other thing that's very interesting about the Capitol Police is this. They are not susceptible to FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act, okay? You as a citizen under Freedom of Information Act can get information from the FBI, the CIA, the Secret Service, you name it, okay? But you can't from the Capitol Police. So this kind of gives the Capitol Police carte blanche to do whatever they want under the authority given to them by the Speaker and the Majority Leader. Can you see how this stinks of politics? Now, there are people that have claimed that Article 1, Section 8, Clause 13 of the U.S. Constitution says that the federal government cannot create a presence in a state without the state's permission. Very true. There's also other people that say that doesn't matter. This, federal law enforcement can supersede state law enforcement. Y'all know, pick anything. The Murrah building in Oklahoma City in '93. Obviously the local cops were there first. They were doing whatever they could on the scene. As soon as the FBI shows up, the FBI says, we're now in charge. Okay. It's just the way it works. Okay. So same thing. But what I find really, really disturbing about this, okay, besides the fact of even doing it, is the spokespeople for the Capitol Police, at least in Tampa, okay, and we'll read this quote, okay, the plan is to open a small office, just a few people, to speed up the process and work with authorities in these states as well as prosecutors to make sure these cases are properly investigated, or to make sure these cases are properly investigated, okay? Now, why do you need to be in Florida to do that? If it's just a few people, you aren't going to be the investigative team, okay? Obviously, you're going to leave that to local investigators who, I don't know, maybe know the geography of the area, maybe have contacts in the area, silly little tiny things, that, you don't want to see a police force going, okay, you need to go to 123 Main Street. A guy pull out his phone and go, okay, put it into Google Maps real quick so I can find, get GPS directions to 123 Main Street. Okay, that's literally what you get with a federal presence. The locals are going to be much better adept at handling something like this. Okay. Now, if they want to say this is to protect a Capitol member or whatever from any threat, congressman, a senator, hey, great. You know what? Send a Capitol police officer with them as a security detail. I'm fine with that. Okay. No problem. That's following their mission to protect members of Congress anywhere in the continental United States. That's fine. That is their mission. They do not need a field office because y'all know how government works, okay? They start with something this big and it grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. Never does it get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, especially under a Democrat, okay? The party of big government. It's like if they had their way, everybody worked for the government, i.e. communism. So, their line of going into, well, it's just a few people today, okay? What's it going to be next week? Next week, well, we need to add a fourth person. Next year, well, you know what? We need to add 6 more. Oh, you know what? We need to add another department. Oh, you know what? We need a budget of $14 million because we need to hire, 82 people. That's how the government works, okay? We do not need a federal police force coming in anywhere. Granted, right now, it's just San Francisco and Tampa. What's to say in September it's not, well, you know what? We're going to open up one in Phoenix and in Minneapolis. Oh, and you know what? Now we're going to open one in Raleigh and Helena. And, now we're going to open up one in Philadelphia and Vegas. And the next thing you know, you've got a national police force, okay? Federales, all right? We don't want those in the United States. Not saying just us as people. The American citizens should not want a federal police force. A federal police force goes back just like Nazi Germany, the federales down in South America, whatever it would be. And especially because it is completely political, that they don't answer to the people, they answer to the leaders of both houses of Congress. And I will say this on either side, because what's going to wind up happening? Those police are going to start being the strong arm, if you will, of whichever party controls the House. You know what? Remember all the IRS things, the targeting of conservative organizations during Obama's term by the IRS, just completely blowing them out of water. Targeting of the Tea Party, everything. Same thing, okay? What's to say that they don't target our meeting in October, okay? A bunch of us getting together, who's to say that we don't have, in a case like that, the federales coming in and going, we don't like what you're doing here, so we're going to arrest everybody. We didn't commit a crime, but that doesn't matter because they answer to Congress, not the people. And if Congress says, Nancy Pelosi, who, right now, if you're not wearing a mask, we're arresting you. Literally, same thing. I mean, she's done this in the Capitol today. If you're not wearing a mask, they will arrest you and fine you. You put the Capitol Police out in the entire United States, Congress doesn't have to pass a law. The Speaker just has to say, this is the law, and the Capitol Police enforce it. Something to think about, guys. This is the problem that we've got going on. There is a petition on, what is it? Hang on a second. I got to find it here real quick. I'll find it. There's a petition to sign. I'll link it on change.org. That's what it is. To demand the Capitol Police not open up these offices. I'll put it in there. If y'all care to sign it, that's up to you. I know change.org isn't exactly the most conservative-friendly place, but hey, if you want to, you can put it in there. I'll link it below. Up to you guys whether you want to do it. But I just thought you guys might want to know this is what they're trying to do. And this all is working in, all the puzzle pieces fitting together of how, hey, this is what we want to do. The federal police now are the answer to, let's bring in the blue helmets, okay? Who controls them? They tell you what to do. FEMA camps, yada, 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 okay? Start putting this stuff together, guys. You'll figure out real quick what I'm talking about. Have a good Friday. We'll see y'all later. Pinball out.